My G. So thank you to DJ Physics for recently joining my Patreon, and joining my Discord, and I had to make a video for you to help you out with this one. It was only right. So DJ Physics says this helps. I want to see how you place the sub and kick. Like when I'm gain staging, I start with the kick, then the bass a few dB lower. Would love to see a video about this. Where you place the bass and kick after the sidechain. All right, so this is my technique for mixing the kick and the bass and the sub, right? So what I've got here is I've got a bass which has the sub in. You know, it's a full-on bass with sub inside it. You know, if you look on span, it's got the sub frequencies down here, nice and powerful sub. And the sub sits within that range I always talk about, -30 to -36 on span. So it sits in that channel. So that's the sort of rough volume that I always aim for with the sub, right? But yeah, it's built into the bass. And then I also have a kick here as well. It's a really simple kind of kick. It's quite quite tight and a little bit pokey, a little bit short and snappy. But yeah, that's sort of peaking around 60 or 70 hertz or so, 70 hertz maybe, the low fundamental. The bass also is from my latest preset pack, Motion, which is out now and on a launch sale until Sunday night. And it's the Teleport Blocked, which is one of my favorites. Nice speed changes and stuff you can do. But yeah, anyway, so basically you're talking about what level dB should I have the sub and what level dB I should have the kick. And so for me, I don't think about it in terms of like gain staging or numbers at all. Like that's completely not how I think about this. I think that is something that is a little bit of an old wives' tale, and I'm here to like dispel that myth and try and give you more realistic advice that will actually help your mix downs, right? So how I see with the kick and the bass relationship is basically the kick and the sub, or the kick and the bass, are essentially the whole foundation of the power of your track, and they are the low end, right? And they, like, if you get those really nice and powerful, everything sits on top of that. And so yeah, it's not really something that I can do by just looking at, you know, where the dB is, like where the numbers are, you know. It's I basically aim for maximum power from my bass without it distorting, plus maximum power from my kick without it distorting. And then thirdly, the best blending of the two sounds together via sidechaining, you know. So when it comes to the bass, for example, if I turn the volume up, and I'll clip them both, right? So the bass and the kick will both just have a clipper on. With the kilohertz clipper, you can turn up the you can do your input, you can do your gaining like inside the clipper, you know. So for example, this bass, obviously when I go too high it starts to distort and sound horrible, right? But I can sort of get away with 1 or 2 dB boosting, you know. And on span, you know, my sub is really reaching almost just above that -30 line, but it's like not, it might be distorting a tiny bit. Let's bring it back to 1 dB or so. But yeah, it's basically you're having to use your ears and listen and see how far you can push it before it distorts, okay? And it's kind of like I go for the maximum power, you know, with the bass, you know, just doing that. And then I'll sort of do the same for the kick, really. So with the kick now, again here, I can just boost the gain on the clipper. And if I'll go up here to like plus 11 dB, kick starts to fall apart and distort, right? It sounds horrible. So if I bring it back, I can go like a nice 6 dB on this kick, and that's getting it to that red line, and it still sounds clean, you know? And so again, like, I'm not looking at the numbers or the dB or the gain staging. I'm just basically trying to get the maximum power out of both sounds. So the next job is then to blend them well together, you know. So now you've got to use your ears again to sort of do the side chaining, right? So if I chuck my side chain on here on my bass channel, and then I can just sort of see how much I want to duck those lows of the bass to give the kick room to cut through. Obviously there it's like very obvious, and it's, you know, it's cleared out all the space, but it doesn't have to be that extreme. Obviously I can make it more subtle, just as long as the weight of the kick comes through. That's pretty good. And then, yeah, what have I done there? I've basically got, I've got the maximum sort of volume I could get from the bass, which I did just by turning it up into a clipper and listening for distortion and just going just before that. And then I did the same on the kick, you know, running that through a clipper, turning up the input and just riding it right to the edge. And then I've got like the loudest possible kick and the loudest possible bass, and then I'm basically just then blending them together with the sidechain with the on the sort of threshold here, you know. And so that sets me up in a pretty good spot. And then yeah, so basically that is kind of the answer there, really. It's that's getting me into the ballpark, you know. If I wanted to, like, by taste, take the kick down a bit, for example, maybe. Or I could try with the volume of the bass. Yeah, but really it's kind of like I'm trying to get maximum impact from both at the same time, really, you know. So it's not like I'm this is how I sort of mix. I don't really personally like look to have the bass at this dB level and the kick at this dB level. It's kind of just like maximum power from both, and then blend them together with the sidechain. That's how I sort of approach, like staging, gain staging, if you will, the low end, you know, the kick and the bass. You can like tweak things very slightly around until you not like find a nice balance. But yeah, the key is basically like setting up that low end foundation of both of them being powerful and both of them, you know, feeling like they kind of fit with each other, and they both like combine to give you that low end foundation, you know. So think more about just trying to get the most power from both, and then sort of mixing them together by ear, and think less about like exact like gain staging volumes, because also like every time you use a different bass or a different kick, you're gonna get like you're gonna get slightly different results, obviously, you know, and the power is gonna be slightly different. So your goal is basically to try to get like that what's the right word? Like this this sort of perceived gelling of low end power where they both kind of just contribute together, you know. It's like they both combine to like give you that fullness in the low end, you know. So it's just think about it like you're trying to get the maximum fullness in your low end, always like the maximum fullness and cleanliness in your low end, you know, like kind of from both at the same time, and then like blending them together with the sidechain, and then that sets up your foundation for the rest of your mix, basically. So once you get that right, then the rest of the mix should theoretically be easy, you know, because this is kind of the most important thing to do in your mix down for drum and bass, you know. So hopefully that was helpful. That's kind of just how I do it. So I don't, as I mentioned, I don't think like, oh, sub at this level, kick at this level. I kind of go for maximum power from both and blend them by ear, and yeah, just try not to over distort them, and yeah, get some nice side chaining going on so that they don't conflict too much either. So hopefully that helps you, my G. Thank you very much for your questions, as always. I hope that helped anyone else watching as well. Obviously, I made this video intended for everyone to see. But yeah, hopefully that cleared some things up for like low end mixing for you guys. So thank you very much for watching, my G's. Check out the links down below as well. I've got preset packs available. As you can see, this Serum preset on my new pack Motion is out now on sale. And there's other Serum packs and Vital and Faceplant and current packs on my website. Check out my Patreon as well, as DJ Physics also joined our Discord. Thank you very much. There's great stuff going on inside the Discord, so come along and say hello in there. And if you guys want one-on-one lessons, also feel free to book yourself in a class and email me if you want mixing and mastering work done. That's it for today, my G's. Like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love.